Imagine for a second paying like premium tuition for a 4-year culinary degree.
Okay.
You spend thousands of hours, sitting in these stuffy lecture halls, reading menus, studying the historical evolution of forks or whatever.
Right.
And you write these massive 50-page essays on flavor profiles.
Sounds exhausting.
It is. And then you graduate, right? You confidently step into this high-end restaurant kitchen and you realize something absolutely terrifying.
Which is?
You have never actually cooked a single meal.
Oh, wow.
Not once. And to top it all off, the head chef looks at your really expensive degree and offers you minimum wage to wash dishes.
That's just, that's brutal.
It sounds completely absurd. Why would anyone ever sign up for that?
They wouldn't, or, well, they shouldn't.
Right. But right now, according to the sources we are looking at today, this is the exact reality for thousands of students in the tourism and hospitality industry.
It's a stunning disconnect.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's essentially the foundational promise of the modern university system, just entirely breaking down in real time.
Totally.
The traditional narrative tells us, you put the time in, you pay the tuition, and a functional career just sort of pops out the other side.
Like a vending machine.
Exactly. But in this specific sector, that machine isn't just jammed, it is actively smoking and grinding to a halt.
Yeah, it's broken.
Okay.
Welcome to the deep dive, by the way. Today, our mission is to explore this massive, largely unnoticed crisis in higher education.
And it is massive.
It is. And more importantly, we are going to unpack a really highly structured proprietary solution that promises to, flip the entire educational model on its head.
Which is desperately needed.
For sure. So to set the stage for you listening, we need to drop some of the data from our sources because the numbers here are genuinely jarring.
They're hard to believe, honestly.
They really are. So in 2024, across National Council for Hotel Management and Catering Technology, which is often referred to as NCHMCT-affiliated institutes, a staggering 8,656 seats went completely vacant.
Which is just, an astronomical number of empty desks.
Right. Over 8,000.
Yeah. And when you consider the sheer infrastructure, right, the faculty, the real estate, and all the resources built to support those programs, having over 8,000 empty seats is an institutional catastrophe.
It really is. And the data gets even worse when you look at the postgraduate level.
Oh, yeah. The master's programs.
Exactly. If you dive into the All India Survey on Higher Education, the AISHE reports, it reveals a 62% contraction in Master of Travel and Tourism Management enrollments.
62%. That's huge.
Over just a few years, we are talking about a free fall from 5,696 students down to 2,811 nationwide.
So practically getting wiped out.
Literally half. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Why is an industry that is fundamentally built on the excitement of global travel, exploration, human connection, why is it suddenly repelling students at such an alarming rate?
But what's fascinating here is that the data actually proves this isn't just some temporary post-pandemic hangover.
Right, because people love to blame COVID.
Oh, absolutely. It would be super easy to blame global lockdowns, but what we are seeing is a harsh national market correction.
The correction, okay.
Yeah, because students are highly rational actors. They look at the landscape, they run the numbers, and they're actively rejecting degrees that offer a terrible return on investment.
So it's an ROI crisis.
It's a severe ROI crisis.
Right, because they're graduating and finding out the reality of the industry, it doesn't match the glossy college brochures at all.
They're the culinary students who only read menus.
Precisely. You have students spending years memorizing pure academic theory.
Yeah.
They learn the history of tourism, they learn management theories from the 1990s, but they have zero operational hard skills.
None at all.
So when they finally hit the job market, employers view them as a massive risk. And because of that risk, the starting salaries offered are notoriously low.
Like, how low are we talking?
Well, our sources show graduates are looking at 15,000 to 20,000 rupees a month.
Wait, really? A month? Yes. And in a Tier 1 city, that is barely a subsistence wage. You just cannot build an independent adult life on that.
That's essentially an extended, poorly paid internship.
Exactly.
And when you couple those incredibly low wages with a curriculum that industry leaders say is, painfully outdated, it's no wonder students are just walking away.
Of course they are.
Plus, the post-pandemic reality revealed just how vulnerable this sector can be, right? We're talking about brutal hours, dealing with incredibly demanding clients, and a notoriously poor work-life balance.
And that creates the massive industry-academia gap we see today. There is this clear haves versus have-nots divide right now.
How so?
Well, a few premier central universities are still filling seats, but that is based almost entirely on their legacy brand power, right?
Just the name on the degree.
Right, not necessarily a superior curriculum.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, Tier 2 and private institutes are staring down zero student intakes in their specialized management degrees.
Wow, zero.
Yeah, the students have wised up. They know that theoretical knowledge of tourism does not translate to the hard operational skills needed to actually run a travel business.
Or manage a destination, yeah.
Exactly.
So we have established the root cause. The traditional academic model in this space is broken, and students are rightfully demanding real-world ROI.
Yes.
They want to know that their time and, their money will actually lead to a sustainable livelihood. Which brings us to the core of our deep dive today.
The big question.
Right? What does the alternative look like? How do you actually fix a system that is bleeding thousands of students a year?
Well, that brings us to arguably one of the most radical redesigns of vocational education I've encountered in our sources.
Yeah.
Yeah, it moves completely away from the pay first, hope to earn later model.
Let's get into the solution then. For you listening, we are looking at what is called the Khaled two-cycle framework, or K2C.
KTC, right.
This is a proprietary educational framework developed by Dr. Syed Wali Khaled. And crucially, I want to emphasize that this wasn't born from some dusty literature review in a university library.
Right, by someone who has never booked a flight for a client.
Exactly. Dr. Khaled built this from 30 years of actually running tours on the ground, working with global giants like Kuoni and TUI, and running his own Ministry of Tourism recognized company, Sterling Vacations.
And we should note, for you listening, this isn't just a corporate training manual either.
No, not at all.
It is a highly rigorous, peer-reviewed framework. It's actually deposited of record in the Zenodo open source academic database.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah, if you were to look up its DOI, which is 10.5281 Zenodo.20679657, you would find the complete published methodology.
Which means it's out there in the academic world.
Exactly. To be cited, tested, and scrutinized by other scholars. It bridges that exact gap we just talked about.
Okay, so it is designed as a lifeline for individuals wanting a viable career and for universities desperately trying to save their empty departments.
That's the goal.
Let's break down how this K2C framework actually works. It is built on what the sources call a holistic 5-vertex continuum.
Yes.
It's a pathway that essentially maps the entire journey of a professional. Can you walk us through these 5 vertices and explain what they actually mean in plain English?
Absolutely. The continuum tracks the evolution from a casual observer all the way to an industry leader.
Okay, where do we start?
Vertex 1 is called appreciate. This is the foundational stage. It is all about learning to look before you learn to sell.
Interesting.
Yeah, before you can package a destination and sell it to a tourist, you need a working literacy of what that destination is actually made of.
Like the local culture and stuff.
Right. Who carries the burden of tourism? What is the environmental cost? Why is a specific cultural site worth protecting in the first place?
Oh, I see. It's establishing a baseline respect for the destination, ensuring you don't just view it as a commodity to be exploited.
Exactly. It requires no prior study. It's open to anyone. It teaches you the carrying capacity of a place.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then, once you understand the value of the destination, you move to Vertex 2, which is experience.
Experience.
Right. This is where you physically go into the field to observe what Dr. Khaled identifies as the traveler's cycle.
And what exactly does that mean? The sources mention a 15-node traveler's cycle.
Think of it as mapping every single touch point a tourist has, deliberately and analytically.
Give me an example of a node.
Sure, a node could be the exact moment they dream up the trip while scrolling on Instagram.
Oh, wow, it starts that early.
Yeah. Another node is booking the flight. Then the taxi ride from the airport, the hotel check-in, the actual excursions,
Right.
all the way to the final node, which is the story they tell their friends when they unpack their bags at home.
That's a really comprehensive way to look at it.
In this vertex, you are walking that cycle slowly. You observe service quality in the field. You learn to read the matrix of a destination rather than just consuming it blindly like a tourist.
Okay, so first you appreciate the cultural and environmental reality. Then you experience and map the mechanical touch points of the traveler. What's next?
Vertex 3 is called Create. And we're going to come back and do a major deep dive on this one in just a moment, because this is the commercial spine of the entire pathway.
Ah, so this is where the framework pivots from observation to actual business building.
Yes, exactly.
Right. This is where the money is made and where that ROI crisis gets solved.
Precisely. But just to finish the continuum really quick, once you have a business and you are operating in the market, you hit Vertex 4, innovate.
Innovate.
At this stage, you are actively redesigning the system where value leaks. You apply design thinking to the operator cycle to make things more efficient, more sustainable, or more profitable.
Oh, I see.
It's a stage perfect for master's or doctoral researchers who want to fix the structural economics of the industry.
They are finding the inefficiencies and patching them.
Exactly. And finally, Vertex 5 is influence. This is the fellowship stage. This is for senior practitioners who have successfully built businesses and innovated systems.
You like the veterans.
Yeah. Now they publish, they mentor, they sit on advisory boards, and they shape government policy.
That's a great full circle moment.
And crucially, they seed that very first stage appreciation in the next generation of students. It creates a closed, sustainable loop.
Okay, I have to jump in and push back here for a second.
Sure.
This all sounds incredibly elegant in theory. A beautifully designed 5-vertex circle of professional life.
It is not, yeah.
But we started this conversation talking about a 20-year-old student sitting in an empty classroom, staring down the barrel of a 15,000 rupee a month salary.
True.
How does appreciating the environment and innovating systemic value leaks actually solve their immediate bleeding neck problem? I mean, how do they pay the rent?
That is the crucial reality check, and it's exactly why Vertex 3 creation is the absolute engine of this framework. The entire model falls apart if the student can't survive economically. This raises an important question. What if education didn't cost you massive amounts of money until you were already using that education to generate income?
Oh, here's where it gets really interesting.
Right. The creation phase is designed from the ground up as a structured earn-while-you-learn platform.
Earn while you learn.
Exactly. It completely bypasses the broken ROI of the traditional degree by forcing the student to build a revenue-generating asset while they study.
Okay, so how does it work?
It is broken into 4 distinct, sequential steps that graduate in complexity and investment.
Let's walk through a hypothetical student navigating these steps. Step 1 is the Certificate in Tourism Service Operations, right?
Right.
Or CTSO.
Right. This is the entry point to the commercial spine. The initial tuition is 15,000 rupees.
Okay.
But here is the critical difference from a traditional university class. You are not just sitting in lectures. In week 2 of this program, you are forced to choose one specific destination.
Like anywhere.
Anywhere. Let's say you choose specialized cultural tours of Kyoto, Japan.
Okay, I love Kyoto.
For the remainder of the course, every single assignment compounds on that one choice. You are researching vendors in Kyoto. You are calculating margins for bullet train ticket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you are building a fully costed, sellable itinerary. You do not leave this course with a folder of graded essays. You leave with an actual market-ready product.
Which you can immediately turn around and sell to a client. You essentially just built your first piece of inventory.
Exactly.
And that leads directly to step 2, which the framework calls the Earning Bridge, the Certified Travel Business Associate, or CTBA.
Exactly. At this stage, the dynamic changes entirely. You aren't paying a massive university tuition fee to sit in a library. You are actively working in the market.
How so?
Students join the Sterling Vacations Associate Network. Under this corporate umbrella, they are fed live leads.
Wait, real leads?
Real leads. They earn commissions by doing consultative selling on real inquiries. They are practicing brand conduct, objection handling, and lead generation inside a live, functioning business ecosystem.
Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Instead of going to a college placement cell, begging for an internship where you fetch coffee and make photocopies for practically nothing,
Right.
you are operating as an associate. You are earning actual commissions while the academic learning is still fresh in your mind.
Yes.
But wait, is it really safe to have someone with barely any experience selling international travel packages?
That is why the Sterling Vacations umbrella is so vital. They aren't just thrown to the wolves here.
Okay, good.
They are operating within a structured, supervised environment. They have the safety net of an established company's licenses and operations team, ensuring the product delivered to the consumer is flawless.
Ah, so the customer still gets the perfect trip.
Exactly, while the student learns the art of the sale.
Yeah.
And the income they generate here is what funds Step 3, the Certificate in Travel Business Mastery, or CTBM.
Okay, so they use their own cash flow to fund their continuing education. That is brilliant.
Yes, it really is. Step 3 is a 60,000 rupee investment, but it's a 12-week Apex program where you design, cost, and supply your own independent venture.
Your own venture.
Right, you build the unit economics, you negotiate direct contracts with local vendors, and on day 90, you have to present your fully structured business plan to a professional panel of industry veterans.
You are literally building your own company inside the curriculum. It's like an incubator disguised as a syllabus.
That's a great way to put it.
And that brings us to the final stage of creation, the absolute apex of the pathway, the Certificate in Travel Enterprise Launch, or CTL.
Yes, CTL. The final stage is where K2C truly separates itself from anything in the traditional academic world.
Okay.
The investment here is 1,50,000 rupees.
Right.
But I want to be very clear, this is not a course. You are not buying a series of video lectures.
What is it then?
It is a 90-day intensive build sprint.
Let's really hammer this point home because launching a business in the real world is incredibly risky.
Oh, absolutely.
Most startups fail within their first year. How does this framework ensure these students don't just, take their fancy certificate, launch a company, and immediately go bankrupt because they have no real-world safety net?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the reason the traditional university system fails so many entrepreneurs is that it completely abandons the student at graduation.
Right. They hand you a diploma, wish you luck, and lock the door behind you.
This framework does the exact opposite. It provides a 90-day dedicated build team, followed by 12 months of intense mentorship.
Wow, a whole year of mentorship.
Yeah. Dr. Khaled's team literally registers your tax-compliant legal entity for you. They build your brand identity, your website, and your social channels.
They are doing the heavy lifting of the startup phase alongside you.
Precisely. And perhaps most importantly, they configure a full AI operations stack for your new business.
Let's demystify that term for a second. An AI operations stack. What does that actually look like for a 22-year-old running a new travel agency?
It means setting up intelligent customer relationship management software.
Okay.
It means automated email flows that trigger when a client asks for a quote. It means dynamic pricing tools that adjust your margins based on current currency exchange rates.
That sounds incredibly advanced.
It is the technological backbone that allows a single person to operate with the efficiency of a 10-person team. They set all of this up for you, and they help contract your initial suppliers.
I want to explicitly highlight this for you listening. This is not a passive placement guarantee.
No, not at all.
You know the ones I'm talking about where a student pays a massive premium to a private college just to be guaranteed some bottom-rung seat at a corporate desk for 2 years?
Oh yeah, those are everywhere.
This is entirely different. The K2C framework provides the intensive mentorship to help you close your first paying clients alongside their experts. They hold your hand while you deliver your very first departure to standard. They aren't putting you in an elevator to the top. They are building the scaffolding so you can safely climb the building yourself.
That is the vital distinction. They aren't giving you a job. They are helping you birth an enterprise. You retain the equity in your own labor.
Which is huge.
And for institutions, this is the magic bullet. Imagine an educational leader, a university dean, staring at those 8,000 vacant seats across the country.
Yeah.
If they integrate this framework into their curriculum, they can offer their students a placement-adjacent route that actually generates income during the degree.
It transforms a failing, purely theoretical department into an incubator for travel entrepreneurs. It totally changes the value proposition of the tuition fee. You aren't buying a piece of paper that you hope an employer respects. You are funding your own startup phase. What is really fascinating from the sources is how this model is structured economically and how it is rolling out right now. For you listening, if this analysis strikes a chord, it's worth looking at how Dr. Khaled's program is practically applied.
For sure.
The next cohort for that first step, where you build your sellable itinerary, operates on a rolling intake.
And the logistics are designed specifically around the reality of adult learners and working professionals.
Right.
Classes are held on Tuesdays and Saturdays. The philosophy is teach the theory on Tuesday, build the actual business asset on Saturday.
The structural promise of this model is incredibly confident. It essentially says, bring one destination you are passionate about. Leave with a functioning business.
That's a bold claim, but they back it up.
Based on our sources, they run 30-minute discovery sessions to evaluate fit. And importantly, it is structured as a no-pitch deck conversation.
Right. It's not a hard sell.
No, they map out where you are, whether you're an industry veteran looking to launch your own independent brand, someone looking to start a boutique agency from home, or, an institutional leader trying to revive a dying department.
It's a highly pragmatic diagnostic approach. They even utilize a niche finder tool that you can use before you spend a single dime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it tests whether your specific travel idea actually has market demand. Because building a beautifully optimized business around a destination nobody wants to visit is just an expensive hobby.
Very true. So, what does this all mean? We started this deep dive looking at empty college classrooms, massive enrollment drops, and an industry education system that seemed fundamentally disconnected from economic reality.
We saw an academic model that was actively punishing its own students with low wages, massive debt, and outdated theory.
But by unpacking the K2C framework, we see a totally different paradigm. We see a peer-reviewed five-vertex pathway that literally turns academic theory into a revenue-generating tech-enabled enterprise. It means that whether you are looking to change careers entirely, start a boutique agency from your living room, or if you're a university dean trying to save your tourism program, the future of education isn't just about passively sitting and learning.
No, it's not.
It's about building and earning simultaneously. It's about leaving the classroom holding a tangible business, not just a binder of notes and a diploma.
This raises an important question, actually, and it's something I'd love for you to think about long after this deep dive ends.
Okay.
We've seen how this earn while you learn, built-in business launch model solves the specific acute crisis in tourism education. But what if this framework wasn't just limited to tourism?
Oh, wow.
Imagine if every single university degree, from liberal arts to civil engineering, required students to build, launch, and monetize a microenterprise as their final project before they were allowed to graduate.
That would completely rewrite the global economy.
Exactly. If the true purpose of higher education is to prepare us for the real world, maybe the real world needs to be integrated inside the curriculum from day one. I mean, how quickly do you think that would solve the global student debt crisis?
That is an incredible point to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you on the next one.